Hey guys, I recorded myself practicing one looking solves and this was a pretty good average of 12, which was 2.19. So in this video, I'll be talking about my story with 2x2, why I started practicing it so much recently, and one looking, which if you're not at that level, then go check out the 2x2 playlist in the description. So anyway, last summer, I wanted to get good at 2x2 because I realized I could win competitions locally if I did. So I learned EG1, which makes it easier to one look, which is when you inspect the whole solve during inspection. Doing that in 15 seconds was literally impossible because I was not very good at it yet. And I could do it in about 1 or 2 minutes usually, which is not very good by my standards considering that I'm decent at all the other events that I do. So I always kind of have this barrier to entry whenever I start any new event. And 2x2 was especially a big barrier to entry because of the number of algorithms that you have to learn to get into it. Not if you're just going to learn Ortega, but if you actually want to one look using EG, then yeah, you have to learn a lot of them. So I thought that would be hard as well, but turns out learning EG1 and being pretty good at it only took about 2 weeks, I would say. But the hardest part was the one looking part because of how long it took, how strenuous it was on my brain, and how I couldn't practice for a long time because of that. And so not that I was actually discouraged, but I just really didn't have enough time and brain energy for it. So I kind of just stopped around September when school started. But then there was a competition in March coming up and I really wanted to do well. So I decided, I didn't give myself enough time, but I did decide around mid-February that I was going to start practicing one looking again, which means I had to relearn all of EG1 first. And so I really only had about 1 week to practice one looking. But it was a lot easier this time around. And I noticed some things about this whole process of one looking, which also applies to blindfolded solving. So I noticed this thing called mental clutter, which is how your brain normally does stuff, wanders in all directions, and it's fine. But then as soon as you're trying to do a very particular task that you're not well practiced at, it's still doing that. And that wastes so much time. So I'd trace a certain piece. I'd be like, okay, it's over here, right on top. And then I'd start thinking about whether or not my first phase solution was the best. And then I'd look at a different color. And then I'd think, no, I shouldn't be doing that. And then I forgot what color I'm already on, and that wastes 5 seconds, which is 1/3 of inspection time. So you can imagine how that can completely destroy your solve if you just do that once. So that's something I've learned to kind of eliminate, and now I'm getting better at memorizing the things I've actually traced because I used to forget them all the time. Just things like this, the focus stuff. This is really hard to get down, and it just takes a lot of practice and experience. So I guess kind of the point of what I'm saying here is that even though I did try it in the beginning, it was very, very difficult and I kind of quit. When I came back to it, it did get easier. And even though I had to relearn all the EG algs, if I came back to it after 2 weeks, that probably would have helped and I wouldn't have forgotten all of the algorithms. So I think there's something to be said about how people, including myself, just don't like 2x2 quite as much. And there's a decent reason for it. There's less stuff to do during the solve and it's not quite as intuitive. So in a sense, it's not quite as fun. But there is some value in it, and it's kind of like with blindfolded or with square one. It's a lot of optimization, which obviously means you have to memorize a lot of stuff, but the reward is pretty cool because right now on a lot of 2x2 solves, I can just look at it and do it blindfolded, which can be done in the span of 15 seconds, which I think is really cool. You don't have to think that's cool, but I think that that is something that I've been working towards for a while, and being able to do that now semi-consistently is just really fun to do. And now because I'm able to inspect faster, I can practice more, which means my improvement rate is also going up faster as well. So after overcoming that initial hurdle, I think 2x2 has become a lot more fun than it used to be. I'd say I'm still more of a 3x3 and 5x5 kind of person, but I definitely appreciate this type of event more than I did before, so I guess there's that to be said. Alright, so I'll be making walkthroughs of these solves soon to help you guys with your 2x2 one looking, and if you want to just learn 2x2 stuff in general, then check the 2x2 playlist in the description. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you guys next time.